Hey, it's Ricky from All Sorts of Words. Another week, another battle in the bag. But what you don't know is who won last week's challenge. All of you showed up, you voted, and your winner of the week is, well, let's let them speak for themselves, shall we?
I have summoned the ship to take me and my winnings away to my isle. Ha 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 ha! I have defeated you!
And if we have a winner, that means we have someone who was not so fortunate. So let's hear from our dejected Jane.
MJ Knight, how did it feel to lose the C4 championship?
Look, I don't think anyone, me included, was expecting to see me lose. It was a hard-fought battle against the Wizard. I know deep down I had the best comics and the better collection, and I should have won that battle. But trust me, I'm going to be back better than ever, and I'm going to be winning this whole C4 championship.
Live from the same fight you have with your wife every damn time. It's the Comic Collecting Clash of Champions. I'm your host, Ricky, and tonight we have two new contestants hungry to be your comic collecting champion of the week. Who will win? Who will lose? And will Jessica ever admit that it's her mother who's toxic and should be disinvited from Thanksgiving? That and more tonight on C4, the Comic Collecting Clash of Champions. But first, let's meet our contestants. He's given everything to this hobby, his life, his family, even his face. He's harder to look at than a 1.8 grade. From the What's on the Comic Rack YouTube channel, it's The Rack. How are you feeling tonight, Rack?
Ready and willing to take down all contenders, my friend, all of them. Woo!
And for our second contestant, when the water falls, when the boxes shift, when there's nothing to save your precious comics from destruction, from the still only 35 cents YouTube channel, the only one who can protect your books, it's the Protector. Ready for the match, Protector?
I'm ready to encapsulate the audience with my collection.
I've given our two fighters 5 prompts that they can only answer with comic books they own from their own personal collections. After the fight, and I'll tell you how you can vote for your champion of the week. Let's dance. Prompt number 1, starting with the Rack. Too hot to handle.
Ladies and gentlemen, what we have here is a burn notice of Fantastic Four number 244. This comic is too hot to handle. Why would it be too hot to handle? It's a first appearance of a character that's actually physically hot. But what makes this one too hot to handle? That would be 3 little letters, my friends. 3 little letters that's going to fan the flames of every fanboy out there. And that's when you gender swap a Herald of Galactus. And that's what makes this too hot to handle. Woo!
There's nowhere hotter than hell and this first appearance of Mephisto. Burn in hell.
Coming up next from the best is the worst.
The worst. Simply the worst cover in existence. It's the first appearance of Rogue. But where's Rogue?
Ladies and gentlemen, I also have a 9.4 in Avengers Annual 10. Some say it's the worst first appearance to ever appear. But what makes this the worst one? It's because this one has been read, my friend. This one you can take out of the package and read. And who are you going to trust when you start looking up what's the worst first appearance? You're going to go to Go Collect, and they're going to say it's this one. But can you trust Go Collect? Can you trust Cover Price? Can you trust CGC? I say nay. Woo!
2 of the exact same book. Looks like it's going to come down to personality, folks. Slab versus unslab. Handsome versus destroyed face. I don't know. It's up to you. On to question number 3. Value schmalue.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have before you a 9.8 Eternals number 1. Back when I bought this in 2020, I said value schmalue because this sucker was going to the moon, my friend, all the way to the moon. But then the movie hit and I started riding that train down. down the hill, barreling. But I said, I'm going to ride it, baby. I'm going to keep riding that train all the way to the station in Zero Town. Woo!
Wait 1 minute there, Rack. I sense some deception. I noticed the previous book. You held up a book in front of it. That looks almost like a reholder scam.
You can't blame me for the books they're putting inside these. I don't care if it says Eternals, but right there it says X-Men 121. What can I do about it? Complain to CGC? They're not going to do anything. Plus, when I send it in, I'll be even older than I am now before I get it. I don't care. You got to go with what you got. Woo!
Look, folks, I'm just a simple host here. It is not my call to make whether or not you're going to penalize someone for faking a book. That is completely up to you. Let your voices be heard in the votes.
This book you probably never heard of before. It's sort of slipped under the radar. It's worth little to nothing, but it is one of the most powerful books in my collection purely because it is a story about superhumans from Image Comics and its publisher, Eric Stevenson. Very short-lived and never completed, The Nowhere Man stands as a beautiful piece of art and is underrated. Read it.
We're close to the end of the match, folks. How much more can our competitors take? Well, we're going to find out when they get wounded.
There is no more book that demonstrates wounds and wounded than Miracle Man 15, a brutal, horrific issue featuring multiple deaths and civilians injured. It was ahead of its time and beautifully illustrated by John Tuttlebon and written by Alan Moore. If you haven't already, seek it out and watch the horror unfold.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have before you Amazing Spider-Man number 328. And why is this wounded? When you step in the ring and start competing with your comic books, you've got to be able to take all kinds of wounds, whether it's from psychological damage or physical damage. And there's nothing more humiliating than getting punched in the crotch by Spider-Man. Oh yeah, it's signed by Todd McFarlane. Woo!
Now it's time for the final prompt. Nowadays, everybody's trying to talk like they've got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move their lips. It's just a bunch of gibberish. Well, bleep that because they forgot about insert comic here.
Because they forgot about Avengers number 3. Why is this? Who is that they forgot about? The entire Marvel Universe forgot about this character right here, the Sentry. But why are you showing this comic? Why this one? Why Avengers, New Avengers number 3? That's because I forgot where his second appearance was. And I forgot to pick up his first appearance. I'm getting old. Woo!
X-Men number 1. And not just any old X-Men number 1, but a UK price variant. You can take your other types of variants, and yes, they're going to the moon, but there's real secret value behind these and the superpower that I hold on to. Get out there, look for your first pence variants. You won't regret it, and I certainly don't regret this first appearance of the X-Men, Professor X and Magneto.
And with that, our match draws to a close. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and all the channels of our fantastic combatant. Now head on over to the All Sorts of Words community page where you can vote on who won each individual category. And then once I've tabulated all the numbers after a week, on the following week's episode on Monday, I'll make sure that the winner is announced at the beginning of the episode. I'm Ricky from All Sorts of Words. And remember, in the end, all we have is each other. Love ya, bye. Another match is in the bag, so go on over to the community page, let your voices be heard, and next week we'll announce the winner. But we have a special promotion of our next 2 brand new wrestlers and who's going to be coming next week on the next episode of C4, the Comic Collecting Clash of Champions. See you soon.
Well, you can't have a wrestling show without your boy, the Immortality, brother. My name is the Immortal Biggie Shag, and I'm coming to this competition to bust up all these phony, baloney, jabroni, fake collectors, dude. I'm out here representing the NWO, New World Order of Comics, man. So just be warned. I'm going to be going down Santa Monica, busting out all of those bangers, dude. Ah!
Biggie Shack, I took some time out from my time traveling adventures with my cousin Marty and Doc Brown to come and set the time stream right. I've scoured all of time for the books that are going to beat you, and I know it can be done. So get ready. It's your judgment day.